Alright, so this video is going to be obviously dedicated to Nintendo. And the backlash I've been getting, simply talking, criticizing Nintendo for their lack of powerful GPU that they didn't implement it, for their lack of apps that they didn't implement it into their system so you can watch Netflix, Amazon. I get it, I know. It's a gaming machine. It's only dedicated for gaming. Okay, that's fine and dandy. But then your price shouldn't be 300, then your price should be 200. All right. And I want to clarify a couple of things about Nintendo Switch that I think some of you, even some of you who are subscribed to my channel, well, I'm not going to name any names, even some of you who are subscribed to my channel think that I am some kind of a Sony fanboy. Number one, I'm not a Sony fanboy. Never was, never will be. What I am is someone who gives credit where it's due. The only reason I've been using Sony PlayStation is because it supports 4K checkerboarding better than the Xbox One S. It has more exclusives than the Xbox One S, and therefore I go for the console that has the more of a 4K. I'm always going toward the console that has more exclusives and more advanced graphical powers. Okay, that's what I'm going for. Not to mention that Sony also has a PlayStation VR and no one else is doing it on the consoles except Sony. So look, as you all know, I have all of it. I have iMac, PC, Apple, Shield. I had my old VU. Okay, I had all of these things. I had all of these consoles. All right. So that doesn't make me a fanboy. Now let's talk about Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch was released on Friday, right? Now, if I really wanted to get one, could I have gotten one on Friday? Yes, I could have gotten one on Friday, but I don't want to stand there in line like some jackass. 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, wait for the store to open up so I can get the ticket, so I can go ahead and grab one. Why? Because I don't see anything in that console that it's worth me losing my sleep and getting some cold by sitting there in the corner waiting for the store to open so I can grab one. I'm talking about a Target, or Best Buy or whatever. Okay, you have to get there early in line. And we all know the groups of people, they're camping and standing in line. They are eBayers, or they have their own company, affiliate, their own company, and they're selling the console for $1,000. Just like right now, you have certain companies and certain third parties out there, they're selling PlayStation VR for $700, $800, $1,000 because it's hard to find, it's hard to get. I was lucky enough to get one on Amazon. I was lucky to get one that was in stock. That's not going to last too long. So these are the groups of people that go in there to buy these consoles so they can sell them for a higher price. That's the one group. Now let's talk about the fanboys. These are the ones that will defend their brand no matter what happens. Even if it's the shittiest, even if it's the shittiest product ever, and they know it's the shittiest product ever, and they only have one game, they're going to go ahead and defend it because they're defending a brand. Me, I don't do that. The only reason I'm giving Sony a credit because they deserve it. I like what they're doing. I like the fact they're pumping out so many exclusives while the Xbox One S is just doing Halo Wars 2. I mean, how many Halos are you going to be pumping out? How many Gears? I'm getting tired of Gears and Halo, really. I'm getting tired of Gears and Halo. Why don't you try something new, something better? Hopefully you can impress me with Scorpio, Phil Spencer, because for right now, I'm not impressed what I'm seeing. You better impress me on the E3 show this June in LA. You better impress me with that, Phil Spencer, because that power that you have underneath that console, that 6 teraflops, it's not going to mean that much if all you're going to be doing is third-party games. It's not going to mean that much. What's going to mean is your exclusives. But since you already put your exclusives on cross-platform to Windows 10, right there, you're killing your console. by having that cross-platform go to Windows 10. Right there, you're killing your exclusives. All right, now let's get back to Nintendo Switch. All right, let me show you some of the videos here right behind me. Of course, you'll know who this guy is. We know who the Boogie is. I don't need to mention people's names. They're all saying good things. They're all talking about good things about the console. Nintendo Switch unboxing. Even him. Will you switch? I mean, I like him. He's cool. But even him at the end says, go pick one up. Blah, blah, blah. Same thing here. Linus Tech Tip. PC Gamer's Perspective. They do mention that it's not running at high res. And they do mention some of the things that it doesn't have. But at the end of the day, they still tell you, go get one. Same thing here. All of these guys, they either were given one for free because they're sponsored by Nintendo or whatever, or a third-party affiliate with Nintendo. So yeah, all of them will talk great things about Nintendo Switch. Look, all of them. Now, granted, there's some people out there that pre-ordered it. Those are the fanboys. Like I said, there's 3 different groups of people. You got eBayers, you got fanboys, and then you got those sponsored ones, sponsored YouTubers, Okay, and as you can see, there's so many. I went through all of these videos. I'm not going to go through all of them individually, but they're all pretty much the same, saying a great thing. They're all saying, "Oh, it's a great console/tablet." Well, hold on a second. You just told us that it can only reproduce 720p on a little 6-inch tablet, and that's a very crappy resolution compared to what I can do on my phone. Okay. Pixel by pixel density. And then they mention it's 900p, but it's 720p scaled to 900p. That will look let me tell you, if I was to plug in that Zelda game with that 900p, it would look god awful on this 4K TV without HDR or any of that stuff. I mean, I could try and calibrate it. I can do my best to calibrate it, but even with my best of calibrations, still that game is not going to look that great as it would if it had a more powerful GPU, if it had 4K and HDR capabilities to checkerboard and render that. Yes, then it would be a much, much better experience. Now let's talk about what Nintendo Switch doesn't have. Well, like I said, you cannot download any applications. You cannot download Netflix, Hulu. What else we're missing? Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, none of them. You cannot watch them on your 6-inch tablet. Okay, perfect. You cannot put any movies on your SD memory card because Nintendo Switches will not read that file. It has to be only something that's Nintendo, meaning you can only save Nintendo files. It has to be for the games to save the files, or for the Nintendo games that are being released. Okay, so pretty much you're only limited to Nintendo, little fascist, it's what it is, little fascist organization. And that's what they want you to do. They want you to go ahead and use the Nintendo only, which means you're not free to move the way you want to move. So why would you spend $300 on a just Nintendo only? When you can go on for $200, you can get yourself 3DS XL and it's going to do exactly the same. Or you can get yourself a VU and you might actually have better looking upscale on the Nintendo VU than opposed to Nintendo Switch. So my whole criticism about Nintendo was that they downgraded themselves from Nintendo VU. And you guys know I played Super Smash Brothers. I had Nintendo VU. But you all know that they downgraded themselves. And to Regis, if I was here sitting right next to Regis, I would tell him, hey man, why is it that you guys don't want to jump into a 4K resolution with HDR, knowing that the 4K, it's 2017, 4K standard and HDR, it's taking a huge leap right now. Why is it you guys don't want to join NVIDIA or AMD manufacturer to get a very good powerful chip inside with at least 3.4 teraflops? Even 3.4 teraflops that would be more than enough to render that Zelda game with much better quality in 4K and HDR. Checkerboard. Okay, there was so much they could have done with this Nintendo Switch. But here's what Nintendo is doing. They're only appealing to one audience. To one audience alone. They're appealing to fanboys, number one, which there are plenty of them. And number two, they're appealing to more fanboys. I mean, really, they're just appealing to one audience. Fanboys and kids. That's it. And of course, the parents will go ahead and buy it because they want their kids to be, happy so they don't bother them. They're going to go out there, stand in line and buy it. So they're only targeting a certain audience. While PlayStation, it's targeting variety. Variety. There's a difference. Okay, they're targeting variety of audiences with their exclusives and different variety of games. They're also giving you a VR option. So when you get Gran Turismo, you have 3 different choices. A, you can play it with a racing wheel in front of your big giant 4K HDR TV, or you can play it with a Gran Turismo racing wheel and a seat with a PlayStation VR headset and immerse yourself in that experience with PlayStation 4 Pro power that it has underneath the hood. So, look, no matter what I say, no matter what I tell you, the fanboys will defend their product. Now, does this mean that I won't ever get the Nintendo Switch? Here's the thing. If I do get a Nintendo Switch, just remember that it will be criticized on things that it doesn't have. I'll have to criticize it for what it doesn't have. I haven't seen a single YouTuber here. Hold on. Where's my, right here. I haven't seen a single YouTuber here that I have watched. Not single one. Even Jimmy Fallon. Well, he's Jimmy Fallon. He has to do what he has to do. He's part of Hollywood. But I haven't seen a single YouTuber mentioning that. Not even barely mentioning the fact that this is what it doesn't have. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have that. Why? And the worst part is they don't even ask, hey, Nintendo, why didn't you implement this? Why didn't you put a camera? Why didn't you put the apps so people can download it? Why didn't you let people share their pictures and stuff on there? Why didn't you give people a freedom? And why didn't you make it more a social experience of a tablet and a console slash? But the reason they didn't do that is because they were only targeting certain audience, certain groups. Even he said it. Where is this guy? Regis. I'll give him a credit. I'll give the guy a credit for being honest. He said it. We're not interested in 4K. We're not interested in graphics. We're only interested in fanboys. And we want to deliver our games to our fanboys. That's pretty much, in other words, what he was saying. So he's not trying to reach a broader audience. He's only trying to reach fanboys. And kids and parents buying it for their kids, all right? But no one else, like for me personally, just like what I had with my Wii U was collecting dust. Except maybe Super Smash Brothers, I was playing that, Mario Kart a little bit. But other than that, it was collecting dust. I really wasn't using it. Even the V, when I had it, was just collecting dust. I got tired of it, moving that wand stick. So I really wanted to give Nintendo Switch the benefit of the doubt. But I knew that this is going to happen. I knew that they're not going to go for the graphics. I knew they're not going to go for any expansion with third parties to have other developers join in, because just how weak the system is. This is what a Nintendo Switch is. This right here, it's NVIDIA Shield. That's what you got with Nintendo Switch. But the difference with NVIDIA Shield is there's so much you can do on NVIDIA Shield. Actually, it does 4K, as a matter of fact. It does HDR. It does so many different things. and it plays games. All right. So then why would you spend $300 on a Switch when you can get $300 for something like this? But we all know they're just targeting the fanboys, the fanboy groups, which most of them will come to my channel to dislike this video. And if you see the dislikes, you do know it's coming from them, along with some other haters out there that just freaking hate me, you know. But you're gonna have the fanboys and haters jumping on this bandwagon just to hit that dislike. We all know that. Everybody, my subscribers, they know that. So I don't know what else I can say about Nintendo Switch. Other than, look, I know that some of my friends have it. I'm not going to name names. Some of them that I even know on YouTube, and some of my subscribers have it. But even some of my subscribers who do have Nintendo Switch, they have a hard time acknowledging what it doesn't have. All right, cool, man. You love that Zelda game. Hey, I have nothing against Zelda. I like Zelda too. I don't believe it deserves 10 out of 10. I believe this other game, Zero Horizon Dawn, deserves 10 out of 10. It's new, it's fresh, it deserves 10 out of 10. Graphical, it's the avatar of video games, graphically, deserves 10 out of 10, period. Okay? And IGN, like a little cunts, they only gave it a 9. I was surprised they didn't give it 9, to be honest with you. So, fine, if you love Zelda, I have nothing against it. Hey, you love Zelda, that's fine. But you do have to, you are doing a disservice when you're complimenting a console, but you're not telling people what it doesn't have and how weak it is. And it's only targeted for a certain audience. Then I would be doing a disservice. Okay, this is why Nintendo will never send me a console, because they know I will be honest, because I am independent. I would be doing a disservice if I told you that Xbox One S is the best console ever. I would be doing a disservice if I told you that PlayStation 4 Pro is the best console ever. Okay? I have to acknowledge positives and negatives. I have to tell you what it has and what it doesn't have. I have to tell you that this device can do this and can't do this. It can do that, but it can't do this other thing. You have to be fair, man. You have to, when you're reviewing something, when you're doing something, you have to be fair. Now, if you're a fanboy of Nintendo, that's fine, man. God bless you, man. Awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. Fine. Good for you. But even you should be able to acknowledge, hey, look, this is a weak console. It's not that powerful. It wasn't meant to be powerful. And you should acknowledge and say that the price might be a little bit outrageous considering just the stuff that it doesn't have on there. Okay? The fair price point for Nintendo Switch should have been $200. No more than $200. I'm telling you this right now. That's what that console should have cost. And if you're wondering about this shortage is being done purposely. Why? Because Nintendo needs to get back that revenue they lost from Nintendo Wii U. And I'm sure they're going to get that revenue one way or the other by creating the shortage, because they can't afford to be losing any more money. Because you guys do know that Nintendo was hurting for past 2-3 years. Past 3 years, 3.5 years was hurting badly. And they lost that stock money. They lost it. So they need to climb back up and make that. That's just the business model, how it works, guys. All right? So anyway, my last statement I want to say about Nintendo is, look, I have no issues with Nintendo games, with Nintendo characters. I'm just simply criticizing other YouTubers and criticizing Nintendo for not jumping on a 4K HDR revolution, which it is pretty much. I mean, it's 2017. You're still going to downgrade yourself to some lousy 900p, 720p? Really? I mean, when are you? Here's my question to Nintendo and Regis in Japan. Like, when are you gonna jump into 4K? Are you ever gonna jump into 4K? Or how about 8K? Are you ever gonna jump into it? So that's the end of the video. Now, one last thing. Am I gonna get Nintendo Switch? Man. Here's the deal. I'm not promising anything. If I do get it, then you will see it. You will see it on my video. But remember this, if I do get it and I start doing calibrations and reviews, I will have to criticize the console / tablet for what it doesn't have and stuff it lacks of. And I'll give it the credit where it's due on some other features that it might have benefit. But I'll have to be fair. I'll have to address these things. You know, if I don't address them, then it'll be just like an elephant in the room, just sitting there. You know what I mean? Unlike all these other YouTubers here, you know, just talking all the great things about it. Look, they're all just talking great things, great things, great things, great things. The best thing ever, the best sandwich ever made. Now, I do know this will trigger some people. This video will definitely trigger some people, but there's nothing I can do about that, guys. All right, have a good one, though. Take care. Bye.